Hey there everybody, Mike here, coming at you yet again from Badlands Paintball. Well, recently one of our viewers actually requested that we do a video on how to remove the lens from your Flex 8 head shield. Now what's so perfect about this too actually is that there's 3 other masks that use the exact same lens platform as the Flex 8 head shield. One is the JT Spectra, the other is the absolutely legendary Proflex, and the third being the Flex 8 without head shield. So you know what, I'm going to show you how to take the lens out of this particular mask here, but for any of you guys that have the Spectra, the Proflex, or the original Flex 8 as well, this will show you how to take out your lens systems too. So let's dive right into this mask. Crack your fingers guys, because taking out these lenses isn't always the simplest of tasks, but is definitely doable. So take a look here, let's take this lens out. Alright everybody, so when it comes to removing the lens from this mask, there are a few things that will make your life a lot easier. For one, make sure you have some patience, okay? It can be a little bit hard to remove these lenses and put them back in. It does just take a little bit of time and definitely patience. So make sure you have that on board first. But to make things a little bit easier right off the bat, the first thing I'm going to do is remove the visor on this mask, okay? So actually everything on this mask essentially just clips in really easily. If you take a good look on the inside here, from the visor there are actually 3 main bars, one on this side, one on the other side, and one right in the middle. And those little bars have a hook almost on the end, as you can see right there, that will end up clipping through all these little individual holes on the top of the mask. So all you have to do to get the visor off is to simply pull those bars out of the holes and remove the lens altogether. And of course, you can snap it back on top when you're done as well too. So now that I've got that visor off, we're going to have to pull out the lens. Now essentially how this lens works is you've got the lens of course itself, which is seated in this rubber exterior frame. Now holding the lens into that rubber exterior frame, you've got all these little tabs that are attached to the lens. So the lens has these little hook tabs that are looping up through this exterior rubber frame. So to get the lens out, we actually have to pull the rubber frame back and remove it from those tabs attached to the lens. So I usually start with the top of the mask, and you can actually see here as I pull back that rubber frame, the lens will actually pop right out. And you can see on the top there, that's an example of one of the tabs that you're going to have to pull out of the rubber frame. So I've got one more on the side here and one more on this side, so I'll remove both of those as well. 1 and 2. Now, the more times you do this, the softer this rubber is going to get and the easier it's going to make your life, okay? Now, it should be noted that as hard as it can be at times to pull this back with your fingers, you don't want to be getting any tools or anything going on in there. You really don't want to end up accidentally scratching your lens. So take your time, use your fingers, you don't have to be using any tools, okay? So now I can move on to the bottom ones. You actually have 1 on each side and 2 right in the nose. The 2 in the nose are the hardest in general to do. Now I find to get off the bottom ones here, I actually like to remove this rubber frame from the bottom half of my mask just to make things a little bit easier. Now the frame itself actually snaps into the bottom half of the mask the same way that your visor snapped into the top, with those bars that push through the little holes. So I can actually just pull this bottom frame back and remove it separately there. So you can see now I've got some separation. That just gives me a little bit more room to breathe in and around this frame. So now I'll take out each one of my 2 sides. 1 and 2. And now my last 2 nose ones, and these ones will take a little bit more force, but just feel free to pull it right out and you'll be good to go. So there's 1 and 2. So now I've got my lens completely free of my mask there, so that's perfect. I can clean it off. Maybe you're going to want to swap to a tinted lens or a yellow lens. That can be absolutely up to you. Alright guys, so now that you've got your new lens ready, it's just a matter of rinsing and repeating essentially the opposite of what you did before to put that lens back in. Now I usually actually start up at the top just to make sure that my lens is centered. And what you're going to want to do, guys, is just pull that frame back and insert the tab right into its slot and push it through. So you can see that top one's clipped in now. Now I'm not going to lie, guys, it's definitely a little bit harder, as you can see, to put it back in as it is to pull it out, because you can just yank it. But take your time, work your way around. I usually work into the next top one here. And then I'll actually insert my lens into the frame the entire way around. And that way I know that my mask is nice and centered on there, and it's going to make it easier to clip all the other tabs in. Boom. And then last but not least, the two nose ones. Now these ones are a little bit more difficult, so take your time with them and make sure that you have it completely centered and on properly before you finish. If this nose clip or your top clip isn't aligned in and snapped in properly, there's a chance that the frame might actually peel back and you're going to get some paint in there. It just makes things a little bit more difficult. So go around the entire outer frame and make sure that all your clips are placed in properly. Alright everybody, so I just finished clipping in the two nose pieces there. Now all that we have to do is ensure that the bottom half of our mask is clipped into the top half. So there's one bar on the side, two in the middle there, and another one on the other side. So just going to want to line them up with their holes. Good, and then push that entire frame right back down into the bottom half. Perfect. And you can actually even take a look along the inside and you can see those little tabs and see that they're pushed up into the proper places, okay? Now lastly, you will want to put on the visor again as well, and the same rule applies. So line up those bars with the larger holes on the top of the lens and snap each one in. One. And the other side, two. And there you go, guys. Now you got your mask, lens, everything put right back together. Alright everybody, so likely your fingers are a little bit sore at this point, but you should have a brand new fresh lens in your Flex 8 head shield. Now don't forget everybody, if you do have the Spectra, the Proflex, or the original Flex 8, the exact same rules apply in terms of swapping in and out your lenses. Now if you do need extra help, you want to speak to somebody in person, as you know I always say you can come into any of our 9 locations across Canada, alright? There will definitely be somebody in there that'll be able to help you and give you some advice. Also, if you have any questions, you can always post up on our Facebook account, and please follow us on Twitter too. There's lots of stuff going on there, great chance to win some free stuff and ask some questions too, okay? Now in terms of YouTube, definitely follow our YouTube channel. As you can see today, we did this video essentially for a customer, for a viewer specifically. So if you have any questions, you want to see some tech videos, post up below, let me know. We want to do what you guys want to see, okay? So I hope this helped you all. Hope you have a nice, fresh, clean lens in your Flex 8 head shield. You can get out there, see some people, and shoot some paintballs. Have fun playing, guys.